Well, welcome back to UFCU Dish Falk Field as we are ready for game number 2. It is the second half of the double dip between Kansas State and Texas. Longhorns took game 1 5-3. Kevin Dunn alongside Greg Swindell and Keith Moreland. We're happy to finally be playing some baseball. And guys, pretty good first game, a game that Texas needed some offense to come back, and they got 3 in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, they did a nice job. As Greg talked about before we left to the end of the first game, 4 hits in the 8th inning, found a way to get it done. It started with Boswell, who really needs to start swinging the bat, leads it off with a double, and then Michael can too. This is just an incredible at bat, trying to move the guy over. Not only does he move him over, gets into scoring position himself, and that leads to a big hit by Casey Clemens, and all of a sudden you look up and you've got the lead.
Yeah, Casey Clemens able to knock in Stell also with an error, and then Colin Shaw with a little insurance. That brings home Casey Clemens, and 3 different pitchers had to close it out in the 9th.
Yeah, got a little shaky there in the 9th inning. College Johnston comes in, walks the leadoff hitter. Connor Mays gives up an 0-2 hit. Skip Johnson unhappy with both of them. Brings in Ty Culber, settles down, gets the outs. His 3rd save of the year.
And guys, it felt like Texas was kind of sleepwalking. Not much energy in the stadium. You can understand that with the weather, but not much energy on the field from Texas. What are you looking for in game number 2?
Well, first and foremost, I'm looking for a good performance. Chad Hollingsworth needs to go out, do what he's been doing. His strikeout-walk ratio, he doesn't have that pop on his fastball that he has, but he's done a nice job of using his defense, so he needs to pitch ahead. And the other part, offensively, needs to spread this out. The first 2 guys in the lineup, guys, have been the guys that have been productive offensively. Other guys in the lineup are going to have to start producing if this team wants to go where it wants to go.
What about you?
I think they need to clean it up defensively. Don't give up the extra base runners. Texas had 3 errors, 2 by Brett Boswell in the first game. Clean up the defense a little bit and play better in the field.
Yeah, Texas sloppy with 3 errors, but able to overcome that and get a win in game number 1. Tress and the guys ready to take on the Cats. It's game 2. It's coming up next right here on Longhorn Network.
Texas baseball on Longhorn Network is brought to you by Wingstop, the wing experts with more than enough flavor to keep Austin winged.
Oh, Austin, Texas wrapping up South by Southwest. A lot of the country, some of the world has made their way down to the capital city to enjoy some live music, also the interactive part. But it's all wrapping up here, and even with the rain, Austin has felt the energy, and the rain has been able to stay away. So we've had some energy in the ballpark, and we're ready for game number 2. Brad Hill's in his 12th season, 2-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. This season they are 11-10 and just had their first game in the Big 12. We take a look at their lineup, and one guy who hit the ball pretty well was Tyler Wolf.
Well, you look at Tyler Wolf, in the ball game, he was 2 for 3 in game 1. He did a nice job in the bottom part of the order. You know, the other thing that this lineup's got to do, Greg, it's got to find a way to produce in the other spots. You look at Dalrymple and Shane Conlon, they have been the guys that are driving this offense, but the bottom part of the order did a good job in game 1. They got to continue with that production. Max Brown is another guy that you've mentioned too. Kevin has done a nice job offensively for this club. He has, a big guy too. We'll see what Kansas State can do against Chad Hollingsworth. Chad is a junior from Waco, Texas, 6'2", 210, had a nice career, but you guys know about that. You have a performance like he did against Texas A&M to win a regional, it takes you to a different level.
It does take you to a next level. He did it again in Omaha. Pitched very well there. This year struggled with his command. A little bit with his breaking ball. He's coming off the shoulder impingement, the surgery in the off season, so it could be that he's just now getting the arm strength back, getting the fastball back. But to me, today, he needs to be able to command or get that breaking ball around the plate more often than he has this year.
Where do you think he is in terms of being 100% and getting that arm back?
A lot of times, after surgery, it can take 6, 7, 8, 9 months. You never know. And with Chad Hollingsworth, he's bouncing back now, whereas earlier in the season, he wasn't able to bounce back after starts. See there, March 14th, last start against West Virginia, his longest outing of the year, 7 innings, only the 1 earned run and the 1 strikeout.
Carter Yagi's going to lead it off for Kansas State. We're underway here. Upstairs, 1-0.
Interesting. All of us talk about command. Strike one is so important. I don't care what kind of stuff you have. It's about pitching ahead in the count.
Down in the count 2-0.
Because if you're 2-0, 3-1, you're going to have a tough day.
Yogi at 247 was 1 for 5 and scored a run. Marlo throws over to Clemens, who is starting at second. In fact, both lineups are exactly the same, except for Michael Cantu is catching and Trace Pereira is DHing.
Nice job of getting the fastball even on a 2-0 count. Sort of tying him up inside, getting the inside corner, didn't keep it in the middle of the plate.
Brings up Clayton Dalrymple, junior from Coppell. Came into today hitting .373. That was 0 for 4 in game 1. And Keith, you've known his father for a little while.
Well, he was a longtime PR director for the Dallas Cowboys, so if you were raised in the Metroplex, you obviously knew that name.
0-2 to Clayton. And he gets him. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
A little cutter right there.
A little cutter. Like Darrell was looking for off speed or something right here. Chad goes up the ladder with him. Just emergency hack trying to foul it off right there.
Yeah. And that is, as a hitter, that's an emergency hack. You say, oh, no.
There's Conlon. That's a good hack, but right at Marlo. Brooks has a couple plays. Chad does the rest with a strikeout. Longhorns coming to bat. 7-pitch inning.
Getting together.
Augie Garrido's in his 19th season here in Austin. He's won 7 Big 12 titles. The Longhorns are now 14-8 and 3-1 in Big 12 play. They've been very good here at UFCU Dish Falk Field. We take a look at their lineup. And Keith, before he got the double, one guy you just said in between the break, you said Brett Boswell needs to step up.
Well, he is, and he's a guy that can hit. He was 2 for 2 in the first ball game. You know he's going to hit. He's just hit every place he's been. He's got a really good-looking swing. And Michael Cantu was outstanding in that first ball game as well. Get production from the top and the bottom part of the order. Casey Clements with a big hit in the first ball game as well.
He'll be facing Colton Kalmus. Kalmus, a right-hander, 6'2", 200. He's from Rowlett, Texas. He's a sophomore. Greg, what do you know about him?
Decent fastball, 84, 85. Got a curveball and changeup to go with it. His first Big 12 start right here. First career start in the Big 12. He does have 9 career starts coming into this. He's never gotten out of the 5th inning. So we'll see what happens tonight in his first start in the Big 12 back in his home state.
Coming back, the Rowlett Texan, and it's got to be big. We've seen a lot of guys come back to their home state, as Ben Johnson will lead it off. This is hit well. This is going to be trouble. Johnson is taken off, is cutting it off in center field is Brown. He's going to stop at second with a leadoff double.
Well, Ben Johnson, a good fastball hitter, sitting right on first pitch fastball, gets one down. Good extension right there. And he does put a charge into it. This is a really nice job by Alex Brown at center. Cut this ball off and hold Johnson just to a double.
Yeah, when that ball took off the bat, I'm thinking 3 with Ben Johnson's speed. Max Brown, he just gets over there and gets the ball back in and holds Ben to 2.
Well, Ben was thinking 3-2. So he gets his 4th double of the year, but he was cooking out of the box. And I'll bring up Colin Shaw. We'll see if Texas is bunting here. Who knows? Takes a strike. I really thought Casey Clemens would be bunting in the previous game. And Greg, you said, well, he may swing away. He's hit everything to right. He had no outs and a guy on second. He ends up getting a base hit, and Taylor Stell coming around to take the lead. Ripped. Watch out, Ryan Russ. Ryan wasn't going to put his hand down on that one, Greg.
Gotta be careful with hands in the back pocket. Won't be able to get them out quick enough to save yourself over there.
He's smiling. Showed some quick feet, though, for a former outfielder.
Get deep, close to the sideline.
Yeah, when I helped volunteer coach here, I was even further down the line with lefties up.
This is upstairs. Almost didn't get it upstairs enough.
There's a couple of those lefties, Jordan Danks, Kyle Russell, Russell Moldenhauer, big yankers.
Texas did a nice job, especially late in the game with runners in scoring position.
0-2 to Shaw. One and two.
A couple of options here. Come back inside with a fastball, or you try to bounce the breaking ball in the back foot. So you got a couple options as a pitcher you want to do here, but you're also thinking in the back of your mind, I don't want him to pull it.
Well, if you want him to pull it again like he did right of Ryan Rush down there.
1-2, and this will advance the runner.
This ball just doesn't hit the ground. So Tyler Moore going down to get it. It does. It hits in front of the plate and just stayed on the ground. Just skimmed right through the 5-hole.
It's a wild pitch.
And you always anticipate that ball to come up, but you got to start with your glove all the way down. And sometime on the synthetic turf, it doesn't have the normal bounce that it does when it's against the sand and dirt of a natural ground field.
Kansas State will trade a run for an out. To left, will this stay fair? No, just foul. Guys, Shaw really has gone baseline to baseline. He has done that all year long.
Tried to inside out this baseball, and tell me it's not a game of inches. 10 extra hits a year in college baseball means the difference between hitting 250 and 300. And it's 6-7 inches right there away from getting a knock and a ribby.
Sliced a little bit too much. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming. Up in the air. I think this will get the job done. There's one out.
That's a good job by Colton Kalmus right there to battle. Get Colin Shaw to pop up to short and keep the runner at third base.
Well, this one you got to take advantage. Is CJ a veteran? He's a junior. Understand, hey, I got to get this job done right here. Ground ball to short, and we have a 1-0 lead. So you got to shorten your swing in here, stay in the middle of the field, and basically on the ground gives your team a lead.
CJ looking for his first hit of the day. You can see the middle infield will take that out at first to stay away from a big inning. He wanted that up, and he got it up.
Well, he hit the spot. I'm not sure I don't want to throw a high fastball right there. That means the ball up's going to go up.
CJ trying to elevate that one to the outfield.
So I think now you're going to see steady diet of breaking balls.
It'll be up to Moore to block them.
Yeah, let's see if it's in the back of both the pitcher and the catcher's mind, the one that did get through to the backstop.
You're right.
Wanted that up, and he did not get it up. This is laced to left center. Coming home is Johnson. Hinojosa going to try for second. The throw won't be there. It's 1-0 Horns.
Well, if you're going to come with a fastball over the plate, it's got to be up. And this one just stayed in the hitting zone, just not up. Don't really understand the call right there. I definitely would have gone a couple of breaking balls first. Try to see if you get CJ to chase. Did a nice job of hitting those, staying right there. Texas jumps out to a 1-0 lead.
So Tres Barrera and CJ with a RBI double. Longhorns 9-3 when they score first. Fouled out of play. It's the 4th Texas double in the last 2 innings.
Extra base hits.
Slugging percentage, that's no question.
And Colin Shaw doesn't have any of them.
That's odd.
Yeah, I know. I think he would have 2 of them. Stopped by Moore. 1-1. Where's Tress offensively? Where's the swing in your mind, Keith?
Well, this week, I think he made some adjustments. I think he swung the bat really well up in Arlington. In the first ball game, he got jammed a little bit, and when one of the bats got a big base hit early in the game. But his front shoulder's staying in a lot better than it was early part of last weekend. I think he had 7 or 8 fly ball outs over the weekend.
Texas had 25 in one game. The 25th ended up winning the game, but the previous 24, I'm not sure they were stoked about.
Well, if you hit them high and far enough, they're good.
True.
But if they don't travel far enough, they're not that good. It's the easiest play to make. I always used to say around the cage, do you hit it high and far or low and hard? High and far is nice.
They'll get you paid.
Yep.
This guy can hit him high and far. May not be the night to do that. Laced right at the third baseman. He goes to second. Double play. Good reactions from Yagi. Rip to him. Texas does get a run. Longhorns lead by 1 after 1. Jay Buhner in the house with his glove. Actually not a bad crowd considering the fact that it's been raining in Austin and still is misting here. Crew's done a great job dealing with it.
And there's some festival in town.
South by Southwest. Hipster apocalypse is close to ending, but it brings good money to Austin.
You can really tell it right there.
Yeah, that's a great shot. You can see, because we really can't feel that in our luxurious booth up here.
Well, I can't even tell it's raining from here.
I can't either. Saratori hit the ball to Marlo. Texas, or Kansas State, has committed 4 outs, and 3 of them have been ground balls to Marlo.
They're playing speed-up rules early in the second game.
Where's what the weather's done in Austin this season? And guys, we all know, I mean, we've been in Austin for a long time. This time of year, you can get rain, and a lot of rain and some bad weather. But the alumni game was canceled. UTPA was postponed. San Diego, that series was shortened. Last night's game was postponed. I mean, even the San Diego game that got in, you didn't feel like...
Oh, those 2 games were tough.
Yeah, you said you were watching us and you felt bad for us, right?
Oh,
you were laughing.
You were laughing is what you said.
Crew, I was watching everybody. That was a tough day.
You felt nothing for us. You felt for the camera.
Those guys out working out there, that's...
Because we were actually up here.
Yeoman's work.
A little warmer than they were.
Here's Krause. They need to get Danny going. He's a good-looking athlete. He plays a really shallow and good left field. Asks for timeout and gets it.
If you're a young pitcher, Greg, I'm going to get to it here after this pitch. If you're a young pitcher and you want to learn how to pitch, you watch a veteran like Chad. Again, he doesn't have that velocity that he had probably last year, and I think he will get before the end of the year and get back to. But you just watch how he goes about his business here. We'll get to it after this 2-2 delivery.
Gets in on him, and Brooks Marlo is he's having a day. 5 outs He's got 4 putouts.
The point I'm trying to get to is it's about in, out. It's like location. It's like selling real estate. It's about putting the ball here, change the speeds there, bring it back into here, change the speed in there, get something over the top, maybe going down, change the little speed with the changeup. There's all kinds of things that he does that it just shows you, if you're a young pitcher, that you don't have to just rear back and try to throw it hard every time.
We saw that in the first game when Kyle Johnston trying to throw the ball 100 miles an hour and not hitting the spots. Chad Hollingsworth pitches. He goes out there, he moves the fastball around, he uses his breaking ball, doesn't get in a hurry, is relaxed, he's composed on the mound. You know, velocity for young pitchers should be the last thing you worry about. You want location first. Location and velocity will come, but if you can't locate a ball, can't throw it where you want it, doesn't matter how hard you throw it.
Even 62, that one. I mean, you can really Jamie Moyer it with that stuff.
Right. I mean, you got
kidding
Randy
around,
Johnson
obviously.
100. You got other people at 86.
He's got a 1-2 on Moore. That's outside. Well, he does really change speeds. That's been his MO. He likes to work quickly. The 2-2. Ring him up. Chad Hollingsworth is feeling it. 6 up, 6 down for the junior from Waco through 2.
Addiction.
Welcome back. Other Big 12 matchups. Pretty big time weekend with national implications. Game 1, Oklahoma State beat TCU, number 1 TCU, 7-6. How about that? A solo shot off Riley Farrell, maybe the best closer in the country.
He's getting a hit off Farrell's good. Now you're taking him deep for a game winner.
Unbelievable. Oklahoma.
OU and Tech tied 1-1 in that series.
They absolutely are. Oklahoma got the win 5-2 today over Texas Tech. 6 of the top 10 teams lost on Friday night. There is true parity in college baseball. And how about this? TCU with a 3-1 lead in Fort Worth are also having some weather problems there. That's in the bottom of the 3rd. We'll keep you updated. 7-8, excuse me, not 7-8 and 9. We got Marlo, Boswell, and Cantu due up. Brooks hitting .279 on the season. And a couple hits in the game 1 win. That's ripped foul. Watch out.
Try something backdoor here. Try to eat her in.
1-2. Well, guys, we've talked about it, but you go back to Brooks Marlo his freshman year. We've talked about the 2 homers off Stroman and maybe what that did or didn't do, but his patience, he's gotten so much better at the plate. And some of that is leading off, but also able to spoil pitches better.
I think he's getting comfortable in the role he's in now, being in a run producer's role. You've got a little bit different idea. You're not thinking about taking as many pitches as you do when you're in the leadoff spot, and you're looking to drive more balls. You're trying to get into the gaps.
This is a base hit up the middle. Nice job hitting with a 1-2 count, and Texas with a leadoff base runner.
He kept his hands back. Didn't try to pull it. Ball away from him. Kept his hands back. Watch his hands stay back here, and then they come forward as that off-speed pitch away from him allows him to get through the ball. If your hands come forward and when your body goes forward, you got nothing left to hit with. Your body can go forward, but your hands have to stay back.
Easier said than done. 10-game hit streak now for Marlo. He's heating up when they need him to. And 3 hits on the day combined now. Here's Boswell. Keith said he's got to get going. You see the stroke. The talent's there. Now at 280 and got that 8th inning started for Texas, where led off with a double and the Horns put 3 on the board and came away with a 5-3 win.
Well, Well, he's the type of guy that can hit the ball down the left field line, the right field line, and he's going to have power, especially pull power. But the other thing I like about his ability to hit is he's going to hit both lefties and righties. I mean, because he stays in there, his stance stays close, he doesn't pull off the ball. At times he has a tendency to get out of rhythm a little bit, but he's not a guy that's going to get a pull-off type hitter where he's going to have times where he starts pulling off the ball, especially in lefty-lefty matchups.
For a strike. He was in front of the cage about a week ago saying he was working on a soft front foot.
Well, you don't want to, if you hit on the heel of your foot when you're going to hit, what are your eyes going to do? They bounce. If it's soft and you hit on your toes, your eyes stay steady.
Marlo with not much of a lead at first. This is hit well to center. Can Brown get back? Yes, he can. Max makes the play, but struck pretty well.
Well, he did a nice job there. When you're talking about landing on a soft front foot, first thing is right here. Watch that foot. Does he hit on the heel or the toe? You can see that toe hit the ground first, and then the rotation of the foot off of the toe. And that's what you're talking about, hitting with a soft front foot. Same thing pitching, I think, sometimes, Greg. If you stride and go to the plate and your heel hits before your toe, it's got to bounce your eyes and get you off balance.
It's going to bounce your eyes, and it's going to cause you to recoil. You're not going to get extended.
Kevin Dunn, Keith Borland, Greg Swindell. As Michael Cantu steps to the plate. Michael with a big double in that 8th inning rally for Texas. 16 walks on the season. Longhorns fortunate to get him on campus. Well, Greg, well, here we are in the 2nd inning. What have you seen from Calmus so far?
His location. I mean, the Texas hitters are obviously picking the ball up very well. Even their outs have been hit hard, except for a pop fly to shortstop by Shaw. Seeing the ball well, not getting ahead. It's a good job of being behind in the count there and throwing the breaking ball, but for the most part, just around the middle of the plate. The pitch to CJ was supposed to be up higher. It wasn't.
That's where we stand now. Is CJ able to knock in the only run?
Boy, that's close to a balk. To
What
see
are you
you get
seeing?
that front foot around, it's not quite far enough around, and it's close.
Fastball outside. The State wanted that.
Be surprised if we see some action. Michael Cantu swinging the bat well.
Brooks not taking off. 3-1. Do you do that again, maybe? Keep.
I run 3-1, 3-2 almost always with 1 out. No outs, it's a little different story. I'm trying to stay out of the double play. But also, Brooks is not a guy that's going to steal a lot of bags.
You do it more with a contact hitter as you would a guy that's going to swing and miss.
Yes.
Not taking off. This could be 2. Step on the bag, throw over. And Texas with a leadoff single, but Kansas State able to get out of it.
He never.
Oh, you probably heard the chants, "We own Texas." You hear it a lot in basketball. You've heard it some in football, not nearly as much in baseball. But since the Big 12 started, this has been pretty back and forth. Kansas State, they've gotten the best of Texas, especially in football in some games where I think the Longhorns felt like they were the maybe more talented team, but Bill Snyder's done an amazing job there. Kansas State leads 10-6 in football. Men's basketball 18-13. It's kind of been back and forth. Baseball like Texas does in mini-series, a commanding lead. But, guys, this has turned into, you know, when the architects of the Big 12 are putting it together, they're thinking Texas, Nebraska, Texas, Colorado. Texas, Kansas State has its own little rivalry.
It sure does. And you can just look at those numbers. And over the last 3 or 4 years, Kansas State's baseball program has been right there. There's a lot of those numbers at 48 and 15 from years ago.
No doubt. 7, 8, 9 due up. This is Max Brown, the center fielder.
I was looking back. We played them in 1985.
Did you?
Yes.
How many punch outs you get?
I don't know. I just remember the year.
It all blends together.
You went way too deep with that one.
Well, the problem is, I asked the guys, this is the right center. This is going to be trouble. Cutting it off is Colin Shaw. Nice job to hold that to a single. But the first hit of the game for Kansas State. Now, the problem is, I asked a guy who has 501 strikeouts how many you had in one game.
Ball out over the plate. Brown does a nice job staying inside it. Sort of highlighted him in the open, and he's really swung the bat well over the last 8 to 10 ball games for the Wildcats.
Here's Tyler Wolf. Tyler, a junior from Maple Plain, Minnesota. You realize that when I did the 2013 regional, Ross Kivett from the Cleveland area, they really go around, and you got to recruit everywhere because you're not going to get a majority of your kids from the state of Kansas. But a lot of Midwest states play some pretty good baseball.
And Manhattan is in the far western half of the state. You're away from Kansas City, the major metropolis in the state.
Foul tip. 0-2. I'm going to let Wolf swing.
Wichita State in the state of Kansas has had a good program, though.
They've had a very good program, and that was the year Gene Stevenson was actually, that was called his last game in 2013 because they were in that regional. And one of the reasons that that program kind of fell off is because Kansas State was getting a lot of their players.
Yeah. We'll see them later this season.
Yes, sir.
The Shockers.
The Shockers beat Texas 5-3 in 1989 to win their only College World Series championship.
So it's the pitch Chad is really struggling to find. If it's not over the, I mean, when it is over the plate, it's been up. Struggles trying to find the feel for it. I think a lot of that has to do with the shoulder.
One and two. Why does the shoulder affect the feel for that?
Just the way your wrist turns, the way you grip the ball. I mean, all the muscles that lead up there is just how you release it. You put more pressure on those muscles leading up to the shoulder than you do just a relaxed fastball.
2-2.
Well, you want to make a good pitch right here. You do not want to go to a full count. You would think that Brown could be in motion even here.
For 4 against Texas. That was May 17th. Ring him up. Out number 1.
He has had command of that one tonight.
Yeah, he has.
See this. Michael Cantu set up on the inside. Does a good job of catching that ball right on the inner half. See him kind of pull it back a little bit. Wouldn't call it too much a frame in that one, just a good job of catching the ball.
Didn't pull it out of the zone for sure.
Right. Jake Woodkey. Hinojosa to Marlo. 6, 4, 3. Hollingsworth gives up a leadoff base runner. Texas coming to the plate.
Longhorn.
The University of Texas baseball program, 6-time national champion, into Omaha 35 times. 1975, Keith Moreland and crew able to win one. Last time they won it, 2005, Greg Swindell was coaching first base.
It's pretty cool experience. Would have loved to have done it as a player, but to be able to coach the kids and see the progress and see them gel and make it there and become a national champion was pretty cool.
8-9-1 due up. Casey Clemens. And Keith, for you, it was the culmination of 73 to 75, where you guys came in and you thought you had a couple chances, but you were running into, at that point, just, well, I'll say right now, the best dynasty of all time.
Finally got it done.
That must have felt pretty cool, though, to take out. That's like taking out UCLA in basketball back in the day.
Yeah, during their streaks with John Wood. I mean, Coach Dato, wonderful coach.
Tiger. What he called everyone, Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger.
There's the man at the plate, his dad, starter on the 1983 national championship team.
Winner of the national championship game.
Yes, he was. You see that shot of Mike Brumley squeezing it, and Roger getting the last out, and good breaking ball from Kalmus.
Kalmus is settled in, Greg. Early in the game, he was really having a tough time getting anything but the fastball over the plate, and he's done a nice job of settling in here and starting to mix in his curveball.
And getting back ahead, getting ahead of the hitters with this pitch. Yeah, just a nice curveball. Followed it up after the curveball, so getting a feel for it.
Here's Zane Gurwitz. Keith, I'll ask you, Zane is a much better hitter than his numbers would show, and he showed that last season. What's the key for Zane to get going?
I'm not sure he's picking up the ball. It feels like he's, to me, watching him from the side, that the ball's getting up on him. So I don't believe he's seeing it out of the pitcher's hand in the release point. And then when you get uncomfortable with that, then you start guessing, and then you start jumping, then you start getting your eyes open to see both of them, instead of just going back to some of the things that you do well. And what he does very well is hit the ball the other way. Let the ball get deep, get on top of it.
To short, and this is going to get past Wolf. Gurwitz stop at first. It'll be most likely an E6.
Well, he had it right there. It's one of those in-between hops, Greg, where you come in as an infielder, and it looked like he was trying to attack it, but right here he lifts up like he took his eye off of it.
Crossed himself up a little bit.
You know, crossed himself up, and he jammed himself up trying to field it.
Right. His glove didn't open up completely.
Here's Ben Johnson, doubled and scored the only run. That's in the first. Kalmus' first pitch strikes, his first 5 batters, 5. Last 5 batters, none.
It's a dangerous pitch here, 1-0 though. Ben Johnson's dead looking fastball. Also a good count if you want to put somebody in motion right here too.
Zane's 1 for 3. Pretty high IQ on the bags. A pretty good lead here. Not going to left center. Going back is Brown. It's over his head. Gurwitz is going to score, and Johnson's flying around. An RBI triple for Ben Johnson, who beat Zane Gurwitz in a race.
Had a great sound to it. Breaking ball right here. Just stayed up. Johnson gets that good underneath rotation. Boy, this ball carried a long way on a rainy night. almost no breeze, but that ball carried 390 feet into left center. It tells you the difference between the ball in the bat this year and the ball in the bat from last year.
Well, that ball last year wouldn't have gone nearly that far. Would have been a pop fly to center field. And Zane Gerwitz does a real good job right there of getting out. He was almost past second base when that ball landed. He was able to get home and able to give his teammate a triple.
Able to get home easily. Boy, Johnson really turned it on there, guys. You can see his athleticism, 5th triple of the year, tied for 6th in the NCAA. He's got a little ways to go to get to 13, which Billy Bates had in 1985.
He's had 2 at-bats in the bottom of the 3rd now, and he's got a triple and a double. Just saying. Halfway to the cycle.
0-2 to Colin Shaw, you're right.
Infield about halfway right here. But you can see Gerwitz, as he gets to the bag, does a nice job, as you were talking about, around the bag, and now he knows he's got to go, because coming quickly
right
is Johnson right behind him.
Good read right there by Zane. And if he catches that ball, he still has time to get back to first base.
Just got to make sure you go back and touch the bag.
To short. He's going to go home. Here comes the throw. Out.
Didn't panic right there. You're going on contact. This is the play. So Johnson leads from 3rd, right on contact, breaks toward the plate. That's a nice job, though, of setting your feet, understanding I've got time, making a good throw, not panicking. Perfect throw for the tag, and erases the lead runner at the plate. Nice job right there.
2 outs. That'll bring up Hinojosa. We'll see if Shaw tries to get in scoring position with his speed. And he's taken off. The throw not there, but he slid past it and he's out. Well, he beat the throw, but came in a little hot.
When it's wet out, it's hard to keep that momentum from going forward just through the bag.
Welcome back. Well, Colin Shaw was trying to get in scoring position with 2 outs, and, well, technically he did, because he's going to get credited with a stolen base, but with this weird turf, you see teams practicing sliding sometimes, and Colin was off the bag and a good job applying the tag.
Well, it's a lot of fun to go out there when it is wet and slide around, but Colin Shaw comes off about a foot. Just couldn't stop. He knew it. Good job right there by Jake Woodke, keeping the tag down on Colin Shaw.
Carter Yagi will lead it off. Actually, they're going to go ahead and have a scoring change, as Yagi will take first. After getting plunked, they're going to say it is caught stealing.
Wow.
And the original call was stolen base and out on the overslide.
I think the umpire never signaled safe, so he kept the tag on him on the overslide.
Well, here's a shot for the Wildcats as Clayton Dalrymple will step up. Clayton struck out his first time up. He's going to lay down the bunt. Cantu's going to go to first. Sacrifice goes 2-3.
Tells you a little bit about how Brad Hill wants to play it. He's got a pretty good offensive club, but he's thinking, you know, we just got to stay in the ballgame, stay right around the ballgame. They did a really good job in the first ballgame of doing that, and actually had a 3-2 lead going into the bottom of the 8th. So, you know, I can see him down 2 here thinking, hey, let's just try to get on the board, scratch one out. We only have 1 base hit on the day. At this point, we got to keep scratching.
Here's Shane Conlon, 0 for 1, grounded out to Brooks Marlowe to end the first inning.
Dalrymple coming into that at bat was 0 for 6 on the day.
That's another point, too. You look at that as a coach, too.
He came in hitting 373. He's below 350 now. To left. Johnson's heading over. That's a fair ball. Conlon with an RBI double, and Kansas State's on the board.
The 22nd ball game now in a row he's been on base. 20 coming into today, and he got on in the first ball game, and now a base hit here cuts the lead in half and extends his on base. Boy, I'd say that's a nice piece of hitting. It's not easy to stay inside the ball as well as he did right there on a ball that's up a little bit. The ball that's down is just easy to stay inside. The ball up, you have a tendency to go around a little bit. He did a nice job right there.
22 straight games for Conlon. Longest streak of his career in terms of reaching base. Think about Mark Payton, that crazy number he had last year, because 22 is impressive. It's a strike in there to Saratori. Steve's a sophomore. He's from Austin. Mentioned that earlier. Austin, Minnesota. Guess he kind of feels at home there. Kevin Dunn, Greg Swindell, Keith Moreland. Game 2 of the doubleheader here, and game 2 of the series between Texas and Kansas State. Longhorns took the first one 5-3. This has not been a night for pitchers if you like to throw the ball low.
Well, you'd rather throw it low than high. You can keep it down there. Eventually, you will get calls. But Chad now, he's still struggling with the off speed. He's just relying on one pitch, and they're starting to tee off on him.
That is ripped to center field. It will hold the runner. Casey Clemens trying to get over there to cut it off, but runners on the corners now.
You just said it, behind the count. You get behind the count, the guys are going to start setting on fastballs, and then if you get it in the middle of the dish, they're going to put a good swing on it, and that's exactly what's happened right here. And Hollingsworth needs to get back to where he was. He was doing a really nice job of mixing it up, staying ahead, changing speeds, different parts of the zone. Now he's fallen behind because he hasn't been able to use his breaking ball in the last couple of innings.
Yeah, if you get ahead, you don't have to throw the breaking ball for a strike. You can be around the plate.
Yep.
But when you can't get it around the plate and you're behind, now we're in trouble.
You could definitely use a double play ball here. As Danny Krause steps to the plate. Danny popped up to Brooks Marlo back in the second. Coming in, hitting at .310.
Krause runs pretty well. He's tough to double up.
Chance to lift that .217 average with runners in scoring position.
There it is.
0-2.
Threw that slow one in there, got it over the plate. So now you can elevate, waste a breaking ball.
He does. 1-2.
The pitch before was more of a curveball. That one there, the one he doesn't have a good feel for is the slider.
I concur. Seems to be under it, Greg.
Right.
Just not on top of it where it has that good arm angle to bring it down.
Wants it upstairs. Fouled out of the stadium. Keeping an eye on Saratori. Saratori's at first. He singled. Conlon is at third. He got an RBI double to get Kansas State on the board. This whole inning started with Carter Yagi being hit by a pitch. Hinojosa will step on the bag. He takes it himself, and just what Chad Hollingsworth was looking for. Double play CJ Hinojosa ranging to his left. Got to find the bag. Once he does that, the athleticism takes care of it. Going back. It's gone. Trace Barrera with a solo shot. Back-to-back homers for Texas. Brooks Marlo gets in on the act. Will this one stay fair? Yes, it will. It's gone. Texas showing some power in their offense through 2 games today. And they've been showing some electricity the last 4 innings. You see 5 runs and 7 hits, 5 of those extra base hits. And Keith, you talk about that all the time as CJ Hinojosa steps to the plate and he's swinging right away for out number 1. But the extra base hits is how you're going to score and separate.
Well, slugging percentage. You can get 3 hits in an inning in all singles and you might score a run. Because the third one might be right at somebody and you still have the bases loaded. But you get 2 doubles in an inning, you're going to score at least 1.
Yep.
So it's about extra base hits.
Once again, you guys schooling me in math, but it makes sense. You know, it's simple, but you're exactly right. As Tres Barrera steps to the plate, Tres lined out to the third baseman Yagi as well. And he hit a bullet. Texas seems to be swinging the bat okay today. Had 3 of those Texas has hit this season. And you guys think both Barrera and Cantu are only going to add to their power.
I agree.
1-2. As a pitcher, what scares you about Tres?
A powerful swing. Yeah, but you also know that he's susceptible to the off speed. You have to be real careful with him and respect his power.
And he will chase stuff like that, so he does go to the off speed, and there's 2 outs. Second strikeout for Kalmus.
Well, I think as he ages and matures as a hitter, when he gets early in counts, you don't see him go outside the zone very often. But with 2 strikes, a lot of times he gets impatient. I'm going to go swing at this next pitch. And I think as he ages as a hitter and matures as a hitter, you'll start to see him get more patient with 2 strikes and be more comfortable hitting with 2 strikes.
There's Brooks Marlo. He's had a nice day, 1 for 1 in this game, and had 2 hits in the Game 1 win.
Does part of that, Keith, come by cutting down your swing a little bit?
Understanding what I've got, yes, absolutely. Maybe a little wider stance, maybe up on the bat just a little bit, maybe forget pull as much. I mean, he's got enough power, and we've all seen this, that he can go out of here the other way even with 2 strikes. I think one of the guys that I saw make that adjustment more was his junior year was Taylor Teagarden, who already had power, the pull power, but when he figured out he had power to right center, then he could cut down, especially with 2 strikes, and hit the ball to right with power. And he did have good power into right center. You just saw that maturity once he got, you get 500 collegiate at bats.
We saw that at Rosenblatt when he hit one out to right center. And
Bullet.
you were coaching first. I think that was the Baylor game that Wheelis would end up winning it, but he kept him in that by hitting a solo shot to right center.
Yeah, it was a line drive. Ball jumped off his bat. You know who else had, I think, real good opposite field power was Kyle Russell.
Yeah.
For a big man.
Yeah, we'd go to left center a lot.
They're trying to eat Brooks up in there.
Now, Brooks is really, we've talked about it, he's matured as a hitter. He's got 7 foul balls and 2 at-bats. He's going to make him work.
Here's where you go out of the zone somewhere, either in the dirt or up.
And they got him to chase. Have to make the throw down to first, but a good inning for Kalmus. Gets a couple strikeouts. We'll talk with Augie Garita when we get back. Welcome back to Austin, Texas. UFCU Dish Falk Field, Texas with a 2-1 lead over Kansas State. Joining us now, the head coach for the Horns, Augie Garrido.
Hey, Coach, the approach these hitters have been taking all day, still hitting the ball hard, and the quality of bats are still there.
They are. We had a couple of rough chances, strikeouts in this past inning based on the breaking ball, and then just fouling off a bunch of pitches and getting into swing mode and not really seeing where the ball was before we pulled the trigger.
And Chad's done a nice job of mixing pitches. I mean, he has shown you exactly what pitching's about. It's about location.
Sure has. And, you know, the guys are playing well behind him because he keeps good tempo and keeps them in the game as well.
Coach, keep that tempo up. I like it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See the rain still.
Tempo. It's interesting that even on the defensive side, you can set the tempo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched Dylan Peters for a couple of years and actually timed him in between some pitches, and it was just taking a long time. Finally, he started, I mean, not saying this is what turned him around, but he started picking up the pace, picking up the tempo in between pitches. One thing, it keeps the defense on their toes, and it just keeps the pace of the game going.
CJ rolling over. What a play. He made that pretty much right up the middle, and there's one out. He does a really good job, guys. You'll see it beforehand, of shading himself and then getting a read right off the bat.
Yeah. He does a nice job of getting himself in position also as well, Kevin, to throw from that spot.
Yep. You saw him go down with the glove right there, and at the same motion set himself up for the quick release to first.
Max Brown, 1 for 1, singled in the third. Max is from North Bend, Washington. He's a senior. One thing that'll keep you in it, guys, Hollingsworth now with 1 out here in the 5th has thrown 46 pitches. He's had 4 one-pitch outs.
Gotta love that. Teams know that Chad will be around the plate. The fastball has real good movement on it tonight.
Bring him up.
Last couple innings, he's been getting that slow one over too.
Yeah, he was having problems with that, Greg, you said, but he seems to have found it now.
He's found the slower one. The slider, not so much, but this one right here, you see it slows down, has more bite to it down instead of across, and a little more off speed.
There's Wolf, and all of a sudden that fastball after that slow curveball looks a lot quicker than it is.
Greg's right. It's got a lot of movement, though, tonight. The ball's got some movement to it.
Keith, would you rather face 94 and flat or 85 and moving?
Oh, 94, I'll take flat. 96, 98, you're talking about that, but it doesn't matter if it's moving or not. It's up there in a hurry.
To right center. Colin Shaw is going to try and cut it off. He will. Wolf's thinking about second, and Shaw has made a couple plays today, guys, that look like doubles off the bat, but the guy's still at first.
Well, it's what you're talking about, keeping the pace, the tempo of the game going up. Colin Shaw's ready for the ball to be hit his way right there. He's always done well in the outfield, getting to baseballs. See, this ball's into right center. Gets a favorable hop back towards him, but he gets back and gets it back on the infield.
There's Jake Woodkey. Woodkey grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end the third inning.
The reason Chad's been effective tonight, he has 13 of 18 hitters he's faced first pitch strikes.
Woodkey is sophomore from Shawnee, Kansas. Counts even. Well, this is not the physical offensive club or dynamic offensive club that we saw in 2013, but Kansas State, I do like the top half of their lineup. Coach Hill trying to find a couple more guys to get some offense going.
Well, they scored 100 and, well, after the earlier ball game today, they scored 111 runs in 21 ball games. So they're averaging right at 5 runs a game. So they're getting some things done offensively.
And Hosa throws on the run, and CJ's had a nice defensive day. Kansas State is done here in the 5th. We'll talk with their head coach, Brad Hill, next. Welcome back. Texas and Kansas State in a tight one here. Longhorns lead at 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Joining us now, one of the nicest coaches you're going to run into in college baseball. That's Brad Hill.
Hey, Coach. Colton Kalmus out on the mound, back in his home state, his first Big 12 start, doing all he can right now to keep you all in the game.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. You know, he's making some pitches, and they got some good swings off early on it, but he kept his composure really well for us and has come back and made some really good pitches. Look like he's getting a little more settled into it.
He does look a little more comfortable. Other than one miscue defensively, that's the difference in the game right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I said, you just got to take care against these guys. You got to really take care of the baseball, not give them those extra opportunities. And they do a great job. When you make a mistake, they do a great job.
All right, Brad. Colton's looking over to you right now saying, Coach, can I throw? So let him throw. Thank you so much. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Brett Boswell lead it off for Texas. Boswell, Cantu, and Clemens due up here in the 5th. Brett lined out to center field back in the 2nd inning. Got a huge double to start the 8th in game 1. Texas trailed heading into that 8th, 3-2, but were able to get a 3 spot, and it started with Boswell. One and one to the redshirt freshman from Rockwall, Texas.
Excuse me, guys, I almost died right there.
Oh, I feel like I'm choking both you guys up. I mentioned, ooh, it's going to catch Brett on the foot.
I thought Zeke was going to fall out of his chair.
Another leadoff guy on for Texas.
Little bitty things. You heard Coach Hill talk about it right there, you know, about the miscue that led to the run in the 3rd inning. And again, leadoff walks, leadoff base runners, hit batter, usually do not bode well for a team, especially on the road.
A team that has struggled on the road this year. Michael Cantu is going to show bunt early. Greg, are you noticing when Texas shows bunt that the Kansas State pitching philosophy, and this is a lot of philosophies, is we're going to throw in?
Yeah, you move them off the plate. I mean, that ball had some good run on it. It's tough to hit or bunt a pitch when your body's squared around. You're giving up your body, and the ball's coming right in. We saw it earlier with Tress. We saw it right there. Tough to get your body out of the way, and it's tough to bunt.
Yeah, they can't be too comfortable. Once again, it's coming in, but Cantu able to get it down. He gets the job done. Boswell moves up to 2nd.
Doesn't matter what level you are, if you can find a way to help your team, even if you're not getting hits. I mean, obviously, Michael Cantu's been really good offensively with the things he's doing, but doesn't matter who you are, if you can find a way to execute, move runners up, get the guy from 2nd to 3rd, less than 2 outs, get the guy in from 3rd with less than 2 outs. You can do little things offensively, be a good offensive player, and not have a .350 batting average.
Yep, we've seen Texas teams do that in the past. Here's Casey Clemens. He struck out his first time up. Casey did have a big hit in the 8th inning in the game 1. Kansas State bench wanted that. Gerwitz on deck. 1-1.
First time I think we've seen a change right there.
Back to back.
Yeah.
First one was a little lower. That one over the plate and up a little bit for a strike.
You talked about missing speeds with a change. You can miss maybe up a little bit if you do change speeds enough, or if you have them off balance. Right. One and two now on the Rockets' son. One of his sons. He's got another one committed to Texas. Actually, I believe he's already signed. Kobe originally signed and did not come, and then you got Casey, and then Cody, I believe, is the one second baseman who's set to come to the 40 acres. With that up, got it up, 2-2.
Slow pitch.
Well, this young man is in rarefied air. He's never been into the fifth, right? Past the fifth?
Past the fifth. 5 innings is his longest outings.
His 63rd pitch coming up. Three and two. How often do you think dropping the ball does not get you the call?
When you reach across your body as a catcher, more times than not, you're going to get the call. He was set up outside. The ball was inside. Even if it caught a part of the corner, when the catcher reaches,
yep,
a lot of times the umpire automatically think that ball's away.
Or you missed your spot.
Yep.
Boswell second. 3-2 coming to Clemens. Longhorns with a 1-run lead.
Go back to the changeup.
Got him. Clemens strikes out for the second time.
Throwing Casey a couple earlier in the at bat. That one a little bit harder, but had some good run on it. Down.
That's a good pitch.
So it's up to Zane Gurwitz. He reached on an error by Wolf. Was able to score a run on the Ben Johnson triple. It gave Texas a lead, and that's where we stand, 2-1. And a sophomore from San Antonio. Fouls that away. His grandfather Robert played football at Texas. He got something in common with Keith there. Football letterman.
Try that time to go the other way. When Zane's swinging the bat well, really drives the ball to right and right center very well.
Well, he talked about all the foul balls. That was his 16th foul ball in this game by Texas hitters. 7 of those from Brooks Marlo. To left, base hit, and they're going to go ahead and send home the run. He's in there, cut off to second, 3-1 Texas.
Texas might have caught a break right there. Third baseman Carter Yager cutting this ball off. Would have been a close play at home.
I think it would have been a close play at home. I'm not sure why he cut the ball. Might have seen the runner, but I think he was trying to fake it. All honesty, Greg, I think he was trying to fake the tag, see if he could hold the Gurwitz from going to second, and it caught in his mitt. Watch the end of this throw right here. See if he's not trying to pull it back. Well, we don't get a chance to see that, but that's exactly what I think he was trying to do is to fake Gurwitz out that, hey, I am cutting it, and let it go through, but it's stuck in his glove.
And Johnson, let's take another look, Keith.
Well, you can see the base hit as he comes in, tries to get in position. Watch him try to here. Looks like he tries to pull his glove back out of the way right here, and then it sticks. It hit it.
He wanted to.
He wanted to.
He
yeah.
pulled it back early and then put it back out there.
Yeah.
Wow. There would have been a play at the plate. I agree with you.
Tyler Morrow was looking at him like, I don't know.
I'm with you guys. It's a strike, 1-1 to Ben Johnson. Ben's off to a nice start. He's a homer and single away from the cycle.
Big hit by Zane.
Mm-hmm.
Big RBI.
Yeah, he needed that. So did Texas now with a 3-1 lead. 5 hits for the Longhorns. Good block by Tyler Moore. He started every game but one behind the plate, and they've been very happy with him.
I'm very careful right here. Stay in the game. I know Colin Shaw's a left-handed hitter and has swung the bat pretty well, but I don't want to give in right here and lay a ball in here to Johnson because he could make it 5-1 in a hurry.
Does not lay it in, but misses 3-1. If you're Johnson, you just zoning in on one thing here.
Up, middle part of the plate in, something I can turn in juice.
He's going to get a breaking ball or something off speed.
I think he is too, but I'm looking for a mistake. All right, if you're going to throw a fastball, you better not make a mistake with it.
Balls and 1 strike to the junior from Westwood High School here in Austin. Having a monster junior year, and scouts are taking notice. Line drive, but Conlon was there. Texas has been smoking the baseball, especially in this game, but Kansas State has been there most of the time, but not all the time. Zane Gerwitz brings home the Longhorns' 3rd run.
We are back. The second game of the doubleheader today against Kansas State University. And Chad Hollingsworth is not about velocity. A lot of times it's about location. Chad, curveballs, fastballs in, fastballs away and up. 0 walks today, getting ahead of hitters. And in that right there was not one pitch that's been in the middle of the zone. Chad Hollingsworth using both sides of the plate and up and down.
Top of the lineup for Kansas State. Carter Yagi takes a strike. Chad's been very efficient.
Mixed in a change right there. Something we hadn't seen a lot of that pitch.
Well, I'm going to say this for both sides, both Texas and Kansas State. I don't remember a day. Now we've seen 2 games where I've seen so many unsure swings or almost cuts, 1 and 2.
Well, that's about changing speed and making the ball move. Hitting off of the fastball, you'll see some unusual swings if everybody's hitting off of the fastball.
He tried to go back to it right there. Slowed his delivery down.
Yagi was hit by a pitch in the 4th and scored the only Kansas State run. This is a base hit to right field. Good start for K-State here. We've seen Dalrymple bunting. I'll be curious to see if he is here.
Well, the same scenario we saw, hit by pitch, and then Dalrymple was bunting, and to get Conlon to the plate, who's their best offensive player. So I wouldn't surprise me to see it here, down 2 in the 6th.
And they were down 2 in the 4th and did the exact same thing. Conlon was able to deliver with the only RBI. Swings through that.
Tardy on that fastball.
Yes, he was. Andy Sawyers is the associate head coach and the offensive coordinator in his first season. You see Andy did some really good things at Texas A&M. Coach Hill really excited to have him in the fold. Oh, 0-2 to the junior from Coppell.
Got fastball up, fastball down in the zone. And again, change the eye level right here. Got under that fastball.
Take a little off the breaking ball here.
I like the slow. I also like the fast. I mean, he's got sneaky life on his fastball tonight.
Yeah.
Really getting in on the Kansas State hitters.
Two and two.
Just has not been able to get on top of that slider.
And it is when you go through injuries like that, especially shoulder, just something about having to get your arm up. I mean, it's the impingement, it's inability to get it up there.
Even though you're not hurting.
Right. It's in the back of your mind because why'd I have my surgery? Well, because it was hurt when I got it up there.
2-2 spoiled. Dalrymple entered today with a 10-game hit streak. Today he has not had a hit out of the infield. 0 for 5 with 4 groundouts, a couple sacrifices and a strikeout. Came in hitting .373 to today. You know, his junior year, he's putting a lot of pressure on himself back in his home state, facing the Longhorns. Big pitch coming up, 3-2.
Pretty good at bat from 0-2 to 3-2.
Got aggressive
Put
early.
Yagi in, you put Yagi in motion here. I would.
I do.
Yes, I'm the same way.
First 3-ball count for Hollingsworth. Runner does take off, and he may have chased ball 4 there. We'll see if Yagi's in motion again, guys. Both of y'all thought he'd be going, and he was.
I think he is. I mean, you got a good contact hitter at the plate. Should see a fastball. Really about the only pitch Chad Hollingsworth has been able to get over the plate for the most part tonight.
Slow curve at times.
At times, a couple change-ups. But you don't want to walk anyone. He hasn't walked anyone all night, especially in this situation.
Runner not taking off. It is ball 4. First walk of the game for Hollingsworth. That was the first 3-ball count, as we said.
Well, that was a good quality of bat right there. Working a walk out of an 0-2 count. Only 65 pitches for Chad at this point. And I don't believe you're bunting here. This is your best offensive player. You're going to let him swing the bat.
Skip's going to come out. There's not been any movement in the Texas bullpen. Well, Skip does that. Be sure to tune in to LHN Sunday for the conclusion of our baseball series as Texas takes on Kansas State. Game 3 of the Big 12 series. It begins at 1 Central right here on Longhorn Network, and also watch ESPN. Probables for that game. Well, Texas, you know, they're kind of shaking up what's been going on in their weekend rotation. Hollingsworth had been going on Sundays. Josh Sawyer has been taken out of the weekend rotation, so it'll be Casey Clemens. We expect him to pitch against Corey Fisher.
Yeah, Casey, you see the 5 ERA right there, but a lot of that is because of this very first start. He's settled down, starting to get a feel for his changeup. That's his second pitch. Getting some arm strength back. The fastball's there. He's had a full weekend already.
Yeah, playing first base and a big hit. Conlon did show bunt. That's a foul ball, and well, Zonk, you've been behind there. That doesn't feel too good.
It doesn't, and you know, it's almost one of those situations where if you're Texas, almost say, well, yeah, we'll give you second and third and 1 out if you get this guy retired.
Yeah.
I'm not sure but it's not a bad play. Now, if he gets a base hit with it, that's one thing, but Boswell is right in position. If he, in a bunt, he probably is going to be able to make the play.
Not bunting and has to get out of the way. Chad almost seems like he's been effectively wild today.
And he's been like that most of the season. I mean, last week he was the same way. And it's all because of the inability to get the breaking ball over.
Clemens, what a play. That's a fair ball, so gets the job done moving the runners over, but Casey Clemens saved what could have been a huge inning.
Well, that was an outstanding play. Going to his left, actually gets to it just in foul territory. He's playing it up a little bit, just able to get to it. Catches almost off the corner of the bag right there, able to get an out. That's a huge out for Texas and Chad Hollingsworth. Nice play for Casey. Now you got to keep the infield back. You'll surrender a run on a ground ball.
Steve Saratori. Clemens did not forget how to play first base defensively. Saratori 1 for 2. He singled back in the 4th inning. Marlo has this, and there's 2 outs. It's not the at-bat Steve wanted. Got in on him, Greg.
And another 1 pitch out. This pitch just 5th one of the night. First pitch out for Chad Hollingsworth. The ball just eats him up right there.
Yeah.
He hit that ball. What, 80 feet, 90 feet?
You holding broken wood at the next level?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're holding a handle.
A handle.
The rest of the bats out there might have went further than the ball.
A big moment here, obviously, as Krause comes to the plate. Danny also popped up to Marlo, and he hit into a huge double play. C.J. Hinojosa stepped on the bag unassisted and threw him out at first. Kansas State had a chance. Another chance here. Has to come with the slow one and misses. 71 pitches now for Hollingsworth. It's in there 1-1.
Speed you up, slow you down, speed you up. As a hitter, that's when you get off balance.
One and two here. Big pitch coming up.
This would be a really nice job of pitching if you can get out of here. He's still, as a hitter right here, I'm still trying to put a good swing on it, but I'm not sure what's coming.
Carter at third, Dalrymple at second.
Well, you look at fastball. It's about all he can get over the plate.
1-2. 2-2. You don't think about maybe the slow curve?
I mean, if you're Chad Hollingsworth, but if I'm a Kansas State hitter right now, I'm just looking for for number one.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Texas by 2. Up in the air. Is this going to stay in play? Clemens is going to chase it. No.
The breeze starting to pick up.
Yeah, it is, and usually it will blow back into play, but if you look at the breeze here, it is blowing towards that line. Good look from our guys there. Another big pitch coming up. Crowd knows it.
Just tough time getting on top of that slider.
All night. Last few starts.
The 3-2 to left. Johnson's on his horse, and he's got it. Krause gave it a ride. Texas still leads. Welcome back. Let's take a look at tonight's game summary. It is powered by the new Chevy Silverado. It's been a pretty good game. Each team has 5 hits. Kansas State does have that 1 error. Ben Johnson continuing to hit the ball well. And Chad Hollingsworth maybe hasn't had his best stuff, but he's been able to be efficient, and he's got a 3-1 lead as Texas comes to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Shaw, Hinojosa, and Barrera. New pitcher for Kansas State is Jordan Floyd. He's a sophomore, 6'2", 240-pounder. He's from Topeka, Kansas. Went to Shawnee Heights High School.
We bring the lefty in right here. Shaw, Hinojosa, Barrera, and Marlo. Got Boswell, got 3 out of 5 lefties. It's tough on lefties. Got the slider, more of a slurvy type pitch.
Collin down in the count 1 and 2, obviously trying to bunt for a base hit. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. So popped out. Foul tip in the mitt. Good start for Floyd.
Didn't worry about the slurve there with Colin Shaw. Just went right after him with fastballs. Nice fastball. Good location on Colin Shaw.
Brings up C.J. Hinojosa. C.J. doubled and picked up an RBI in the 1st, and then lined out on the first pitch to 3rd back in the 4th. CJ seems to be coming around here a little bit offensively after struggling early in the year.
There's so much to confidence hitting. Start building a little confidence. Then sometimes you get a cheap hit here or there. Changes the whole scenario.
Keith, you talk about all the time, and Greg, you do too with pitching, but just how much confidence plays into where you are in your groove at that point. One and two.
There's always mechanics involved in hitting or pitching, either one, but when your mechanics get close to right, then it becomes, I feel like I'm going to do this. But it's a game of failure, because this game will beat you up.
Yeah. You guys talk about that all the time.
The game doesn't care.
It does not. Has no conscience.
Lots of room up the middle for CJ. Goes to second, just reaching out. Play is made for the second out by Woodkey. It brings up Barrera, and Floyd on his way to a 1-2-3 inning with the heart of the Texas lineup. Tress is 0 for 2, lined out to third in the first, just hit a bullet and struck out in the fourth.
First time we've seen that little bender right there.
Well, he knows Tress is aggressive. Will chase balls out of the zone.
Two 2-0.
Well, guess what? He's fallen behind 2-0. Now he has to come at the heater.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he'd never have to.
To the right, ranging over Dalrymple, and he can't make the play, obviously, as that's out of play.
I always think just keep it in the ballpark right there. 2 outs, nobody on, a 2-0 count. Hey, you're going to get a fastball, but stay in the ballpark. And in this ballpark, that means usually up and out of the plate because it's hard to go oppo in this park.
On a night like tonight where the ball, I mean, you have to crush it to left field as well.
Yeah.
He crushes this towards center field. Base hit for Barrera and a 2-out base runner.
But the point we were just making, you kept it in the ballpark.
Right.
Yeah, it's a base hit, but you kept it in the ballpark, and a nice job of getting on top of this fastball this time for Barrera. Good extension. You see that right hand extend and come off the bat. So it gets great extension. You don't have to have the right hand. The ball's already left the bat when the right hand comes off of it.
Here's Marlo. Brooks singled in the second and struck out back in the fourth. Average up to 284 now. Pretty good day for Brooks. 3 hits combined in the 2 games. Had another one. He's seeing the baseball pretty well. But Keith, it gets back to your point. 2 singles. They need another hit to score a run.
Well, it's 3. He's going to take 3 with 2 outs. Nice job in here, staying in that front shoulder. And that's the improvement. Veteran player in his senior year. We saw that improvement last year, though, as a junior, when he was much better against left-handed pitching.
Well, I think he understands now what he has to do against left-handers. I mean, there are times where, yeah, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to try to yank this one and hit one out of the park. But he understands that there's a lot of hits up the middle the other way against these left-handers. And that's the maturity of Brooks Marlo.
Here's Boswell. Lined out to center, was hit by a pitch his last time up and came around to score the 3rd run for Texas. Texas trying to string together 3 consecutive hits to add a little insurance. Longhorns now with 7 hits on the night. Kansas State with 5. This will advance the base runners. Barrera moves up to 3rd. Marlo at 2nd.
It's almost like Moore got crossed up there, like he was anticipating the ball to break, and it was a fastball that he couldn't catch up with. But he doesn't go out and say, hey, do we change signs? I would call that a pass ball.
It goes down as a pass ball. Base hit now could really give you some separation. Good pitch, and he struck him out. Lefty eats him up. Texas gets a couple singles, can't get anyone home.
National champions Ryan Krauser, Johannes Hawk, and Caitlin Petrulos compete alongside their Big 12 indoor champion teammates in the premier meet of the outdoor track and field season. The Nike
Texas Baseball on Longhorn Network is brought to you by American Campus Communities, where students love living. Reserve your housing online today at livewc.com.
It's been a crazy week in Austin, Texas with South by Southwest in town. This is the last night for the festival. Texas hoping to have their own little party tonight with a double dip win over Kansas State. That would give them the series and then allow them to look for the sweep tomorrow. Texas leads 3-1 as we head to the 7th inning here. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up. Tyler Moore, who is 0 for 2, and Chad Hollingsworth out for another inning of work.
Another inning of work. Throwing the ball well tonight, effectively wild, as we say. And you say that because wild meaning unable to get the breaking ball over as often as he wants. He's showing life on his fastball. Good run.
Breaking ball hit to right field. Colin Shaw now has to retreat back. I don't think he got a good read on that, but he's able to make the play, and there's one out.
Ball is carried really well to right field. Ben Johnson hit a ball earlier today. It's just, it hasn't carried to center or left very well, but the ball to right's taken off, jumped pretty well.
A couple guys who saw some action in the first game, Kirby Bellow and Connor Mays. Double barrel action.
We'll get down towards the bottom of this Kansas State lineup. When you flip it over, that's when the lefties will come back up. Sorry, Kirby's not throwing getting extremely hot right now. He knows he's got a few hitters, and he's probably still warm from earlier.
Took a lot off that. That's where he wants that. That looked good.
He got the out to Moore on the curveball.
It seems like he is getting over the curveball more than he is the slider that you guys are talking about. Does not seem to be getting what he wants out of that pitch, and he just hadn't had a good feel. Going to try to lay down the bunt. Boswell is playing back. He's got a bare-handed to throw, and he's safe. Good idea by Brown. And it's a base hit.
Well, it's a perfect bunt. Boswell played it as well as you could do it, but not much he could do about it. Brown beats it easily. Showed good speed there.
Yeah, especially for a big guy. I was watching him in center field before the game, and he was running around for a 6'6" guy.
I don't see too many 6'6" center fielders.
No, sir.
Drew Stubbs, what, 6'4"?
6'4". I mean, Dave Winfield would have been a corner outfielder at 6'6".
Right.
Jordan Danks, 6'5". Boswell to Marlo. Man, was that smooth. 5-4-3, and Kansas State is done here in the 7th. Time to stretch them here in Austin. Longhorns lead by 2. Welcome back, fans enjoying a little Cotton Eye Joe. That's how they do it here. Now that's having a party. You know, you can be by yourself in right field, still having fun as you should out here at the Dish. Texas with a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Texas. Yes, it is wet here. It's been wet all day, but we've managed to get 2 games in.
Wet all month.
Yeah, you're right. Jordan Floyd out for another inning of work. He was really good in the 6th inning, his first full inning. Had a couple of strikeouts, did give up a couple of singles, but was able to get out of it. And the count 0-2. What are you guys seeing from him? Because it's got a weird, seems like almost delivery or release where it's coming from.
Hey, hiding it well. He's a big man. Tough to pick up. Keeps it behind his body. When he takes it out of his glove, it's still hidden behind his body. He doesn't, unable to see it.
Justin Simmons did a nice job of that.
I was going to say that.
I beat you to it. Get him inside here. Does not get inside enough, but that'll get the job done. Coming in, Dalrymple. And there's one out.
You want to keep big guys from extending, and that's exactly what he did. He tied up Cantu, which, Greg, you've talked about a lot this weekend already about how good he does a good job of getting those hands inside most of the time for a big guy. That time got in on him, though.
You have to get it in there. Robin Yount was one of the best ever. It took me 3 years before I figured out, wait a minute, he likes them inside.
Yes.
Maybe I can get him out if I go away.
There's Casey going to try and lay down a bunt. It's foul.
The kid could play. Nicknamed the Kid. And he did look like a kid. I played against him when he was young. And he looked like a kid, and he'd already had 7 years in the big leagues.
MVP at 2 positions. Correct?
Yeah, center field and shortstop.
That's pretty impressive. Kevin Dunn, Keith Moreland, Greg Swindell here. Austin, Texas, UFCU Dish Falk Field. We're in the bottom of the 7th. We got 1 out. Longhorns with a 3-1 lead, looking to take the series with the win. Hit very hard. But Woodkey is there. Guys, we've seen Clemens with some pretty good swings today.
It's not going to pay off. He lined out in the first game with the bases loaded. And he got a big base hit, so he ended up 1 for 3 in that game. But he hit the ground ball to second, where he hit very hard in that game. And this time, that ball's hit right on the button. Sometimes it's not where you can't guide it. You can just try to hit it hard, and hopefully it finds a hole.
Here's Gerwitz. Big base hit for Zane back in the 5th. He needed that and hits this right back to Floyd. Makes a nice play. Texas done here in the 7th. 1, 2, 3. We're through 7. We got a good one.
Well, we talked about in the opening, Texas cleaning it up this game defensively. And they have done that. C.J. Hinojosa to Brooks Marlo, over to Casey Clemens. And then Taylor Made right here for C.J. 6U. To Casey Clemens, and right here Brett Boswell with the smooth fielding, quick release. 3 double plays on the night for the Texas Longhorns, and they've cleaned it up nicely in this second game of the doubleheader.
You guys have talked about that, getting cleaner, and the defense has been very clean this game. Not only clean, but made some really nice plays. 5 double plays turned tonight combined between the two.
Well, that's a pitcher's best friend.
Yeah. Well, that, and how about 6 first pitch outs for Chad Hollingsworth?
Those are 2 things.
Pinch hitter Alex B is up. Alex was actually scheduled to pinch hit and was pulled after Skip and Brad Hill did that little back and forth. Took a lot off. 1-1.
The last couple innings, Chad knows he can go back to the fastball. He's throwing some change-ups and got the curveball over. That one he knows he can go right back to.
1-2 now.
It's just been sneaky. It's exactly right. It doesn't look on the radar gun. It doesn't blow it up. But as you can just see the reaction of the hitters, Greg, it's sneaking up on them. It's up on them before they think it's going to get there.
Hinojosa somehow ranging over to second base, and Casey Clemens finishes it off. What a play by C.J. Hinojosa. That looked like a base hit up the middle all the way.
Well, it was.
Yeah, it's leaning to his left already. You know the changeup's coming, so it helps you move a little bit. Got an excellent jump, and it gets rid of it quickly to get the out. But that's about watching what pitch is coming, knowing what pitch is coming, and saying, you know, if the hitter gets there, he's going to be out in front of it.
Well, Chad Hollingsworth's day is done. Maybe did not have his best stuff, but as Greg has talked about, if you want to consider yourself an ace, and I think he wants to be considered an ace, even though he's not the Friday guy right now, you got to battle through it, and he did.
He did, exactly. Last couple starts, he's done that. Tonight, Chad Hollingsworth taking his team into the 8th inning. Kirby Bellow coming in.
Day is done for Chad Hollingsworth, getting some hugs, and deservedly so, as Texas has a 3-1 lead. We're in the 8th here. Nobody's on, so Chad's day is done. He has nothing on the books for him. He gives way to Kirby Bellow, the senior from Nederland. We've talked about Kirby. What a great story. Came as a first baseman, had a lot of injuries. See the right knee brace right there, but worked extensively with Austin Wood. You can see a lot of the Woody in him in terms of dropping down, and he's had an excellent senior year and really helped out in saving game 1, even though he didn't get the save.
Yeah, I mean, when you know your role, I think right now Kirby might be about the only one down there that might know his role. The lefties, 3 out of the next 4 hitters coming up are scheduled to be left-handed hitters. Kirby's came in the first game, the same situation, and it did well. He can get right-handers out too, but from the arm angle and the break on his slider, Kirby Bellow is about the only one down there right now, in my opinion, that knows when they're going to be in the game.
I agree.
Carter Yagi, you guys have talked about it. He's still figuring out these roles, and I think that was evident in game 1 when we saw 3 guys come in to close, and Ty Colbreth ends up being the guy to get the save.
And his 3rd save of the year.
Right.
Talk about. I came up with my bullpen roles, and I still think that Kyle Johnston has the stuff. He just has to be able to control his emotions. You want him to be emotional, but be able to get the ball over the plate, throw strikes. He's got the stuff to be a closer. Kirby Bellow will be your situational lefty. That's what this is. I'd like to see some more of Jake McKenzie.
I'm with you there.
He's got a nasty slider, especially to right-handers. He can be that right-handed guy.
2-2, and hey guys, let's not forget about a guy who gave up 1 earned run all last year, and that's Travis Duke.
I mean, he gets people out.
That's all he does.
Comes in games. He's been getting hit a little bit this year, but when he gets in there, he's going to get his outs.
Did he go? I think he did. Yes, he did. Appealed to third, and he got him.
Tried to pull the bat back, but just couldn't get it done. You see it from the side. Yeah, that bat's crossing the plate. I would definitely call that a swing myself. A nice job again by Bellow to come in and do exactly, Greg, what you talked about, situational pitching in a lefty-lefty matchup. When you know you're there only for a certain number of outs, it changes the mindset. Instead of coming into a game and say, well, I don't have to throw 100 pitches here. I've got to throw 15 maybe and get my job done and get out of Dodge. That's the roles that Greg and I have been talking about. I mean, who knows what role you fit in? And boy, once you find that, you're comfortable, know how to get ready, know how to prepare for it.
Hit hard. Marlo stays down on it. I mean, 1-2-3 inning. Texas looking for a little insurance in the bottom of the 8th. Welcome back. Texas baseball continues on Sunday. Kansas State and Texas, the finale of this 3-game series. Sunday at 1 p.m. Central, only on Longhorn Network. And don't forget, you can also check us out on the Watch ESPN app, a really cool app. And if you're a sports nerd like we are, it's a must-have. Texas coming to the plate here. Top of the lineup, Johnson, Shaw, and Hinojosa. Ben Johnson's had himself quite a day. Really hit the ball hard every time. Doubled in the first and scored. Tripled for an RBI in the 3rd and lined out to first back in the 5th. Lined again, and making the play is Brown.
Can't do anything but hit a ball hard. It's disappointing when you go back to the dugout, but he's hit the ball hard 4 times tonight, and he's 2 for 4.
Yeah,
he'd take it every night.
New third baseman.
Last 2.
Ethan Klosterbauer.
The last two have been a big hang with him.
Sure have.
But you stay right there.
Yep.
Wow, he's swung the bat good this second game.
It eats up Shaw, but it's going to be a foul ball. Well, that's what the first base umpire said. He said foul, but apparently not. There's 2 outs. Did you see that?
I did not see the ball hit his foot, so I wasn't sure why it was fair. Kelly Nutt.
He's putting his hands in his pockets now, you know.
Got 2 quick outs.
He put him up, and the home plate umpire looked at him and said, no, that's going to be an out. Here's CJ Hinojosa. This is ripped. Well, guys, CJ seems like he's starting to turn it around a little bit here. He's hitting the ball pretty hard.
He's a good first ball fastball hitter, and you know, you go to the plate and look fastball ready to go, and somebody makes a mistake up, you're going to put a charge in one.
And that was it. You go up there ready to hit.
See him smiling a little bit more. To left, going back, making the play is Krause. He's played a nice left field. Last chance for K-State. 3, 4, and 5 due up.
Aaron.
Texas leads the series. They also lead the game. Looking to take the series if they can get 3 outs. 3-1. Kansas State will send Shane Conlon, Steve Serratori, and Danny Krause to the plate. Those are the scheduled hitters. We're definitely going to see Conlon. He has the only RBI in this game for Kansas State. That was a double back in the 4th inning. And well, Keith, not how you'd like to draw it up. Your best hitter or your hottest hitter right now leading off down 2.
Well, you just got to find a way to get a base runner. I mean, you would like to see him with a couple of guys on, no question. Bellow right here. It's a big opportunity for him. I think this is a great opportunity for him to say, hey, you know, give me the ball in the 9th inning.
Shane at 349. Just a good-looking ball player. He was a part of their 2013 run. A little bit of a down year last year. Coach Hill thinks probably had the draft in his head a little bit too much. He would not be the first guy for that to happen to. He's bounced back nicely here in his senior year. Down in the count 1-2 to Kirby Bellow, also in his senior year. Both guys have dealt with injuries. Well,
that's a hard pitch to lay off of right there.
I'm thinking the exact same thing, Keith.
Goes all the way across the zone and all the way nearly from the middle of the zone out of the zone to the bottom.
It's in the zone and just drops off.
Bring him up. And Conlon's thinking, how do I hit that? It started at my right shoulder and ends in the zone.
It started at section 5 back here behind home plate. You'll see it behind, breaks over the inner half, stays there, freezes a pretty good hitter in Conlon, and he can just shake his head and grin.
And Keith, you saw his natural reaction right away. Even though he tried to come back right away, was just to go back, which is natural.
It just starts out behind you. The instinct for your body's, your brain's telling you to get out of the way.
Right.
The ball's coming at me and it has something on it.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's 70, it can still hurt.
Steve Serratori. Steve singled in the 4th and pops this up. Brett Boswell in foul territory. Kansas State's down to their last out. And guys, you may be right. Kirby Bellow may be saying, you know what? I don't want just mop-up time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've been looking for a designated hitter all year. No one's taken control of that. You've been looking for a closer. No one's really taken control of that. Well, this right here, this man's pitching both ends of a doubleheader.
And pitched well.
And pitching well, exactly.
He's retired all 11 batters he has faced today in both games. And Krause is their last chance. Strike 1. Danny is 0 for 3. Been a rough weekend for him. To short, Hinojosa down on it, Easy throw over. Texas wins the game 3-1, and they have taken their second consecutive Big 12 series.
Well, they did a nice job today. They stayed in the ball game. Got to give Kansas State a lot of credit, guys. I felt like that they were right in these games. A big mistake defensively allowed Texas to separate in this ball game. And then how about the pitching in the second game today? Hollingsworth and Bellow really did an outstanding job.
Chad battled the entire game, and Kirby Bellow did both games. I mean, what he's been doing all year, get the ball over the plate, throw strikes, a big win, and like you said, Kevin, another conference win for this Texas team. You talk about separating yourself from other teams. You have to win the games at home. Texas now has won the series. Now they try for the sweep tomorrow.
But Augie's talked about how important it is. Yeah, it's important to win 2 out of 3, but mathematically even more important to get the sweep.
That's how you separate yourself.
That's exactly right. And plus, you look at the conference, everybody in the conference with Texas, with TCU losing last night, everybody's got a loss in the conference at this point.
Good point. Time for the Eyes of Texas. It'll be a happy one here in Austin after taking 2. Once again, our final score, Texas 3 and Kansas State 1. Tune in to LHN as Texas takes on Kansas State in Game 3 of the series tomorrow at 1 Central. Coming up next, it's Home Plate with Augie Garrido. Get your stomach ready. For Keith Moreland, Greg Swindell, our entire crew, including Brad Sheldon, our director, and Drew Irvin, our producer. I'm Kevin Dunn saying so long from the dish.